Easter can be different between me and you. You may celebrate Easter with eggs and bunnies. I celebrate Easter with the celebration of rebirth, eating, and drinking. Different cultures celebrate Easter in different ways. You should listen to me because the diversity in different cultures when it comes to a holiday as Easter can broaden your mind. You never know where Easter's going to take you. You may be in Greece one year. You may be in Italy another. Solon David, Anthropology Quarterly, Master in Anthropology, published in 2013, stated that the discussion between dynamite was more explosive than the dynamite itself. In this speech, I will be talking about the Kalimasian Island and their traits with explosions and celebrating Easter. First thing I will talk about is the origins of the Kalimasians. The second thing I will be talking about is the dynamite and the usage of it. And the third thing I will be talking about is the dynamite throwers. So first we analyze the origins of the Kalimasian Island. They were ruled by the Ottomans for many centuries, and the way they would rebel is that when the Kalimasians were getting invaded, this island was docile. It had nothing but rocks and heavy reefs on the water. It had mountains and it was hard to reach to. So there was one road that would go to this island at this time. So the Ottomans would try to go to this village and they would end up getting ransacked. Instead of this village getting ransacked and them taking prisoners, what they would do is they would throw things at the Ottomans from high up into their towers. And this started a tradition. The Ottomans left, and then they were successful with not being taken over. So after World War II, Greece took over the Kalimasian Island, and to celebrate their rebirth of being taken over by another country, the Kalimasians started throwing things at their captors. The Greece tried to go in and say, hey, you know, we're ruling you and we're taking over, and the Kalimasians were very rebellious. They're known for being rebellious. So what they would do is they would try to find ways to make bombs to scare off the Greeks and make a big roar. So secondly, the bombs, the dynamite. The dynamite usage started after World War II. What they would do is they would jump into the reefs and try to salvage the battleships that were wrecked onto the reefs, and they would make bombs. It was actually a pretty good tradition. Some families would make bombs that made more of a sound. Some families would make bombs that made more of an explosion, and they would trade between each other. When they would go and to create the bombs, it was dangerous in itself, because the bombs you can blow up, you could die. So normally they would leave the women to make the bombs, and the men would have to throw the bombs. They would throw them down mountains to have an echo throughout the village to scare any intruders, and then it turned into a habit that they would do on Easter. This is to establish a rebirth within the country, showing that they are rebellious, that they will not be controlled, even though they are still part of Greece. This island is located right by Rhodes, off into the ocean. And then we will be talking about the bomb throwers. The bomb throwers are young men, probably within 20 to 30 years. Solon David, previously qualified, stated that the fearlessness within the bomb throwing showed the culture in effect for the time. There was an incident where the bomb throwers all got murdered by a rogue bomb. When one group threw a bomb down a mountain, they did not realize another bombers were coming up, and they all exploded and died. So now, as of today, the bomb throwers are mourned, and they throw the bombs more into the reef so that it would echo out into the ocean instead of throwing it down mountains. Throwing it out to the reef also symbolizes a rebirth, It echoes out into the empire, and it is still celebrated to this day. The bomb throwers are also mainly fishermen, and that is how they make most of their merchants, is by throwing the bombs down into the waters and having the fish come up and they'll capture them. And I have talked about the Kalimajin Islands, their trades on celebrating Easter with explosions of dynamite. I've talked about the dynamite throwers. I have talked about the people, the uses of dynamite. So when you do go to Greece, or if you do go to the Kalimajin Islands and you are there on Easter, you may hear a little bit of a roar, you may hear a little bit of a shaking if you decide to buy property there. But it is more than welcome for you to get some firecrackers and throw them out into the ocean to celebrate the rebirth of life. Thank you.